All right, son. I'm sitting here right now. I'm at the corner. I'm in Bangalore, in the Fraser district, and I'm reading the newspaper here. Okay, this is Friday, September 10th, 2010, right? And I come across this article now. I'm sitting here in Bangalore, and look at this article here. It says, "Unholy burning mess. Defiant Florida pastor says Koran burning is a go-ahead." Okay, listen to this. Listen to this nonsense. Gainesville, a small Florida church, has shrugged off global outrage and vowed to go ahead with Koran burning ceremony amid growing fears it will ignite a wave of Islamic rage. Condemnation rained down from top U.S. officials, the military, the Vatican, and other religious and world leaders, but the church refused to halt plans to torch the Islamic holy book on Saturday's anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Terry Jones of the Dove World Outreach Center, the gun-toting pastor, says the aim of Saturday's event is to send a message to radical Islamists. What, by being a radical himself? Nonsense. U.S. President Barack Obama exhorted Jones to listen to those better angels and call off his plan to engage in the Koran burning protest. Obama called Jones' plan a stunt. Okay, now listen, I'm not even going to get into this, but I will say this. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay? That's all I have to say. So if there's a problem, you don't fight fire with fire in that way. I mean, in the literal sense. Okay? We don't point at each other and say, "You're evil." That's not how this works. If this guy wanted to have an effect, then he needs to pray. Because I can assure you that I'm staying across the street from a mosque in an amazing hotel with beautiful people. And I can tell you that they're praying in mass many times a day. So if he has a problem with that, then I suggest that he pray that many times a day. I'm no expert here, but I can tell you that this is nonsense. This is just stirring up rage. It is nonsense. Stop. I'm going to call this guy from Bangalore and tell him that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, against people. You know what that means? Just figure this out. Read the Bible and figure out what it means. Okay? And look at the real world. I mean, what's happening here is there's a church here in India that they are, in fact, it's called the Bhopal Church, that the Islamists have said, if this guy goes ahead, they're going to bomb the church. These are radicals, okay? They're going to bomb the church. It's right here, okay? And it says that if this guy does it, they'll bomb this church. Well, of course. So this is creating any kind of. Anyway, this is the state of the world we live in. Now I'm staying across the street from a mosque in a hotel owned. Anyway, it doesn't matter who it's owned by, but the point is that. I'm surprised that somebody doesn't drag me out of my hotel room into the street over this. Me, which I have no interest in any of this at all. But why not? If I'm an American Christian and somebody picks up the paper and reads this and said, "This is what American Christians are," I'd say, drag that American you see in that room up there out in the street and torch him. So thanks a lot, Mr. Thanks a lot, Mr. Terry Jones at the Dove World Outreach Center, for risking my life, which I absolutely know. See, I'm going to go sleep there. In fact, I just realized that this is the 10th. So tomorrow night is the is the anniversary of 9/11. So this is how I'm going to celebrate it. I'm going to go to sleep at about 10 o'clock and sleep through the night and wake up in the morning across the street on Mosque Road from a mosque in a hotel. I'm going to be doing what I'm doing every night, and that is reading my Bible before I go to bed, listening to some God TV, some CNN, reading the paper, looking at the financials and things too, and trying to be an example of what Jesus truly is here. So that's how I'm going to celebrate 9/11, is to sleep in the care of Muslims across the street from a mosque, fully a Christian. That's how I'm going to celebrate 9/11 2010. All right, son? So that's where I stand. All right. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Okay, now it's 9/11 India time. It's 9:10 your time. So this is I got some counsel after I made that tape. I fully intended to stay at that hotel because the people that were taking care of me, I had no fear of. I had no fear of the boys, that were, the bellhops and those kind of people at all. There's one thing I didn't see, though, and this is what a pastor pointed out to me in getting his counsel, and this is why we need, strong men of God to counsel us, because the thing I wasn't seeing was my presence, and its interference in their festival, in the sense that, that I have a certain look or a certain profile, and if I'm out there, then I'm just inciting, rage or something by my presence. I didn't even think of that. As far as I'm concerned, I absolutely felt safe to be there, but then I didn't see that side of it, that, this is their New Year's Day and all that, so why should I put my face in the middle of the street and have people ask questions as to what's this guy doing here, what's this short haircut, and these kind of things, because of the state of the world. So I was told to go ahead and get other accommodations and respect their festival. And so I explained this to the guy when I left, and we had a good conversation about this. And really amazing thing is, he asked me in all candor, he said, is this all Christians in America? This is seriously, because you understand, he has no other perspective. And I shared with him how, what, my family is nonviolent. My family comes from Switzerland in the mid-1600s, and we're nonviolent. We're Mennonites and brethren in Christ. And I told him I'm a Christian, but that this is not Christian. This has nothing to do with Christ. This guy's trying to get attention. And Obama says, listen to the better angels. I mean, that's a pretty, understandable comment in this part of the world. In other words, you're listening to the wrong voice, dude. Those kind of things. So, I have my own political views and voted for who I voted for. But the point is, in this particular setting, I believe that God sets up governments. And I'm telling you, from where I'm sitting right now, I totally understand that Obama's the right person to be in this place right now, because God sets up governments. So all the people back home need to just simply chill out and realize that God is the one that sets up governments, and that no amount of emails or Fox News programs or CNN news programs or newspaper articles or anything is going to change what's in motion. Okay, so I elected to respect them, and I had this great conversation with him, and I hope that I gave him a little perspective of what somebody who is and believe me, I am no great Christian. I mean, I just come out of just, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. In fact, 2 weeks ago today, I'm ready to join a mission of Nithyananda or something, And I mean, so I'm no great example, but I'll tell you what, when you get in a situation like this, you get down to your roots, and you really do. So anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and, there's no controversy, nothing's going on here. And I'm hoping that this guy doesn't actually go through with this, because if he does, he's going to get a lot of people killed. And not me, but a lot of Christians here working in India and other places, and military as well. So anyway, there it is. There's one of the answers to your question: does the whole world hate talking about religion? Hey guys, just wanted to recap. September 12th, 2010. You know, what I did or whatever. Listen, you know, my sense is probably this guy in Florida didn't pull his little stunt like he was talking about doing. My sense is that I don't know. You know, everything's closed here. It's Ramadan, so all the internet cafes and everything are closed. And I didn't go this morning and run down and buy a paper to see, you know, if it was safe outside or something, because it just doesn't work like that. That's not the real world. Anyway, so I instead this morning actually just went down and had breakfast, and you know, my cab driver, my rickshaw driver was obviously a Muslim. He had a, you know, the cap on, and you know, he's a good guy. He's a businessman. He took me down, and all the hotels were closed, so he knew of a place that had really good breakfast. And he ordered, you know, helped me order and got me coffee and everything. And so, you know, it was just you know, just normal life here. Nothing's going on. There's nobody talking about, you know, September whatever here, other than the finishing of Ramadan, and they're having their New Year festival. So, you know, my sense is that I'm personally, what I'm going to do is kind of put this whole, you know, September 11th pain, and I'm not going to forget that it happened and understand that it's very serious. But put the pain, you know, behind, and kind of move on a little bit here and figure out a little different way to approach this. So yesterday when I actually checked into the place I'm staying, which is one of the, you know, largest conference centers for one of the largest churches in South India, I came upon something at the front. There was one of these left, somebody had left it, I guess, and it's called 30 Days 2010. And what it is it's loving Muslims through prayer. So I think earlier in this tape I said something in my first off-the-cuff remark was, listen, if this guy in Florida has a problem, you know, with this, he needs to pray. Well, evidently, you know, there's some people that do agree with that live here in this, in country, not only just here in India, but in the Middle East as well. And they have a website. Let me just give you just a brief paragraph of their introduction. It says here that we, as believers in Jesus, we disagree with Islamic ideas, theology, and practice in several areas. However, the 30 Days movement emphasizes God's love for Muslims. We encourage all believers in the Messiah to cultivate a spirit of humility, love, respect, and service toward Muslims. Okay. For anyone who's concerned about this subject, I would suggest you go to www.30-days.net. That's www.30-days.net. They have a full website. There's actually somewhere where you actually sign an affirmation here that you're going to be a good ambassador, let's say that, of Christianity, and not antagonistic in your views. It talks a lot. It's an amazing. It goes through all the different days of this 30-day process and things like that. So, for anybody that's concerned about this subject, I would suggest going with a group here that's in this part of the world who understands how to reach these people that we have a burden for. So anyway, it just is impressed upon me. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So for me to point at anyone and say you're bad and blah blah blah, if there's an unfamiliar spirit behind a group, then that's what we need to pray about. Okay, so that's something we can do, and we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay, so my enemy is not the guy that drove me down and helped me get breakfast today. He's not. Sorry. So there's other ways to handle it. So I suggest, getting with people like this. This is the organization. Obviously know what they're doing because they're having the fruit from this, and it talks all about this. So get on the internet instead of sending emails and Facebook postings and a bunch of stuff like that, talking about a subject that I sure knew nothing about. I'd rather defer to 30 Days 2010 to a group that knows tremendously closely of what's actually going on and how to reach these people. My sense is that nothing did happen here with this guy. Just understand this from what I've learned in the last few days. If this guy would have done this, all he would have done is effectively killed a number, if not many, Christians who are trying to serve here in country. Okay, not only in this country, but in Pakistan and Afghanistan, all over. That's all it would have done. It would have just inflamed things and killed Christians. My friend told me that a lot of times when these controversies happen, suddenly, all of a sudden, they're at church service and rocks are coming through the windows of the church. This has happened to him personally. So, you know, somebody spouts their mouth off and then rocks are flying at churches. It doesn't do anybody any good. For anyone who doesn't have the facts to speak on this. So I'm not, all I'm saying is, you know what, if somebody has a problem with this, they need to pray. And in the power of prayer, the victory is won. So the point is that's what I've learned by being in this place with, I don't know, several hundred pastors. And that's kind of the word, I think, that I perceive. Nobody told me directly, and I'm not speaking for anyone. I'm just saying that's just kind of my sense. And me being, you know, who I am, not, you know, the greatest example of a Christian, that's for sure, but just somebody who's, I don't know, kind of reasonable with maybe, I hope. Anyway. So my hope is that, you know, we can eliminate this, I don't know. We need to put the pain of 9/11 behind us, not forgetting what happened. Very, very clear about that. And not forgetting that, you know, the Bible says to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. So what that means to me is that I have to defer to my government to take whatever military action has to be taken. And it's my vote, then, that I can cast to change that opinion. But it's not my job. See, this is the perception here, is that people, literally, that all Christians, I was asked this question directly, are all Christians like this man in Florida? More than once. I mean, imagine that. The only news you have is that this knucklehead is speaking for you and me. Okay? I don't want that. That's why I'm putting this tape together here. So I think that, yeah, everybody is pretty sick and tired of talking about religion. If you want to have an effect spiritually, there are ways. It's very clearly laid out in the Bible how to do that. I'd suggest, you know, that we all read that and literally do it. And fight, you know, fight whatever perceived battles we have that way. All right, so anyway, just wanted to kind of give you a recap. I didn't, today, like I said, didn't have an internet cafe, which I didn't really care about reading the paper to see what this guy in Florida did. It didn't matter either way. And so, you know, I figure when I get back in, you know, a few days, I don't even, you know what, I'm not even going to look it up there. It's just so ridiculous. So anyway, I think we should defer to people who are experts in this subject, okay? All right, there's my answer. Love you guys. Bye.